ear. And this allows me to breathe underwater. There's a special backpack that holds a tank of air, and then the air comes into my mouth through that tube you can see. So breathing underwater lets us explore the ocean and learn about these amazing animals. This is really, really incredible. It's a lot of fun, and we can learn some really interesting things by being down in the ocean. Sometimes the sharks come up close and smile for the camera. Just gonna mute them like that. You guys just all want to make sure you mute your microphones. Make sure mine's not muted. All right, I'm going to go back to sharing. There we go. Let's see. All right, and play. There we go. So this is a tiger shark. Her name is Emma. Emma's been on lots of TV shows. She's kind of a celebrity. And you can see she's very close to the camera. Emma's about 4.5 meters in length, almost 5 meters. And you can see I've got my camera that goes in that case so I can take it underwater, and I've got all my scuba diving equipment on. Oops, I'm going to show this again. Sorry, I just want to mute her, make sure so you guys can hear me. There we go. All right. We also catch sharks to study them. You can see we have the little shark next to the boat on the right, or in the boat on the left. That's a lemon shark on the left and a black tip on the right. We use special equipment to catch the sharks, and we collect our information or our data, and we let them go. Some of the information we collect, we take measurements. So we measure the shark from the tip of its nose to the tip of its tail. We'll take other length measurements along the body. Then we'll measure the shark around where its armpits are to see how big around it is. We take a little piece of the shark's skin and sometimes a little bit of blood. And this can tell us a little bit more about what the shark eats and just help us learn about the life of this animal. Then we tag the shark. It's really like giving the animal a name tag, but we use numbers. They go on the fins. It's kind of like an earring. Sharks do have ears, but they're inside the body, so it wouldn't be very easy to pierce. So we pierce the fins with a tag to help us identify each individual shark. The tag down on the bottom right is a little bit different. That one is like putting an iPhone on a shark. It means we can see where the shark is. We can track or follow where they're going. There's a little computer and batteries in there. So it allows us to understand where these animals migrate. Where do they move? All right. How long do they stay there? And why did they go there? All right. We're trying to learn more about sharks because many of them are endangered species. So if we don't do things to protect them, they might become extinct. And that would be bad for the oceans and bad for all of us. And I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. Okay. So sharks are pretty incredible animals that come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. They also have different adaptations, which means different features or things on their body or things they can do that help them survive. The shark down in the bottom right, You guys can all see it's in kind of dark green water. That's a Greenland shark. And what they can do that's pretty incredible is live over 400 years. Right? The shark at the very top is the great white, kind of famous. A lot of people are afraid of sharks. Yes, they do have teeth, but sharks don't have hands or fishing poles or any tools to help them get their food, right? So their teeth are how they actually catch their food and eat it. Really important for the shark to survive. And up on the top left, you see that little shark with it's kind of got a bright green eye? That's a species of deep sea shark. It's found in very deep parts of the ocean. And they're little. They're less than a half a meter in length. And they actually have glow-in-the-dark bellies, right? So they have a glow. They can produce a light, which attracts other little fish and organisms close by so they can get a meal. No matter how big a shark gets, though, they start out as babies just like we did. As they join. And thank you for everyone who's just joining. Thank you guys again. This is amazing to be able to connect with so many people and to talk about sharks because they're such an important animal. And you might not have thought about that, but the oceans are important for all of us, no matter where we live. The food we eat, stuff we buy is made from the ocean. Even some of the oxygen we breathe comes from the ocean. And these animals are really important for healthy oceans. So thank you so much for spending some time today to learn about sharks. Plus, they're just really awesome, amazing animals. All right, let me go back to my screen share. Hang on, there we go. Back to where we were. All right, so this little nurse shark is a few days old. So it's a brand newborn. It's 28 centimeters long, so it's pretty small. Mom and dad sharks do not take care of their babies, right? So this little one's on its own, but it can swim, it can breathe, it can hunt, it can actually take care of itself. And sharks do have predators. Other sharks, bigger fish will actually eat this little guy. So he's got to be able to hide out. So sharks do have natural predators, but then humans catch a lot of fish and sharks. Also, plastic in the ocean and pollution can make it harder for sharks to survive, right? So things like you've probably talked about using less plastic or recycling or different kinds of fish that you can eat. These are all things that we can think about to kind of help our oceans. Now, sharks are actually fish. A lot of people don't realize that because they're different, but they are a fish, and but they are different. All right, so they're a fish, but if we compare them to other fish, there are differences. Right? Fish have bones like we do. If everyone grabs the top of their ear, we all have cartilage in there. It's really flexible. So a shark's skeleton is made of cartilage, right? Their whole skeleton, which means they're really flexible. And on the left, you can see that's what the inside of the shark fin looks like. That's the cartilage that's really flexible. If anyone is just joining us, if you want to go ahead and mute your microphone, that would be great. I can go in and mute that. There we go. Let's see. I think that's everybody. All right. Let me just go back again. All right, so you can see what the cartilage looks like. Again, it's really flexible, so it helps them move. On the outside of a shark, the skin is really smooth. You can see on the left, but you'll see the scales of the fish on the right. Go. That one. All right, I'm just going in and muting everybody's microphones. All right, I think we're good. So the scales of a fish on the right, shark skin looks really smooth. If you guys have just joined, please leave your microphone muted because then we hear you instead of, so everyone will hear you. So I'm going in to mute everybody's. Okay, I think we're good now. Okay, so shark skin actually looks smooth, but it's rough because it's made of tiny little teeth. So this is what a tiger shark skin looks like under a microscope, right? You can see there, they have tiny, tiny little teeth that cover their whole body, which protect the shark and make swimming easier. The last difference is, there we go. Sorry, I'm just going in and muting everybody's microphones as they join. This is an amazing group. I'm so excited. So many people. So let me see if this is shared screen. There we go. So fish lay thousands of eggs. They spawn. Sharks don't actually do that. Sharks don't have lots of babies. Some of them lay egg cases. You can see this little baby shark there in the case, kind of like a chicken egg, but mom doesn't sit on the nest like a chicken would. All right, and that little baby will hatch out when it's ready. Other sharks are born alive, right? So they have an umbilical cord like we did. So the dot you see on this lemon shark is actually a shark belly button, which is pretty amazing because most people wouldn't think of sharks as having belly buttons. Just a few of the other parts these animals have. They do breathe with gills. The water comes in the shark's mouth. They have a nose. They have nostrils like we do called nares, but they don't breathe through those. They're only used for smelling. They breathe with their gills, so the water comes in their mouth. Now, sharks like makos or great whites have to swim in order to breathe. But there are sharks like the lemon shark on the top and nurse sharks on the bottom that can actually suck the water in, right? So they don't have to swim forward for the water to go into their mouth. They can suck it in and move it over their gills. So these sharks can all breathe while resting on the bottom. And this is a video of a lemon shark up close as it's breathing. And the teeth, right? Shark teeth are really important for the animal. They don't have to brush them or take care of them because their teeth fall out all the time and they always have new ones. So sharks will have thousands and thousands of teeth in their lifetime. And their teeth come in different shapes and sizes. Think about the tools that we use to eat. All right, whether it's a fork, a spoon, or chopsticks, we use them for different foods. Sharks don't have silverware, but their teeth are designed to eat specific things. So you'll notice there are different shapes and sizes, and it depends on what the shark eats. Some sharks eat fish, crabs, squid. Sorry, guys, my dog's gonna bark. Squid, come here, you're all right. So they eat squid, seals, sea lions, stingrays, even other sharks. Not every shark eats everything. They have different favorite foods like we do. All right, so it really depends on the type of shark, what they eat, and if they eat different things during different times of the year. So not every shark is the same, and you'll notice they look different, their sizes are different, and it applies to what they eat as well. Shark fins, really important for moving around. And when we think of fins, we think of swimming, right? But some sharks use their fins for other things. The thresher shark at the top left will actually use its tail to slap fish, kind of like a big whip, and it slows them down. The little shark in the middle is an epaulet shark, and they actually spend a lot of time walking instead of swimming. Shark eyes are very similar to ours. They have the same kind of parts, and some of them have really great vision, night vision. They can see colors, and you can look and see here how different they are. Some sharks also have a special eyelid that comes up over to protect their eye when they're going in to grab a meal. Sometimes it fights back, so they need to be able to protect their eyes. If you watch this video, the tiger shark is going to come up to the camera and it's going to blink. It's looking like it's blinking its eye at you. So you can see the white bit that comes up over. You can see this great hammerhead as it comes in with lots of teeth, right? Kind of smiling for the camera. And you'll see the dots on that tiger shark's face. Those dots are really special. Sharks have the same 5 senses we do, but they have an extra sense. It's kind of like their shark superpower. And those little dots can actually feel if a fish or a stingray is hiding in the sand. The sharks can feel that. All right, they can detect that. But all their senses are really strong for helping them find food and survive in the ocean. And if we take a closer look at those little dots, this is what the nose of a shark looks like. There are all those tiny teeth that cover the skin. And those are not balls of string. Those are those little dots we saw that are the special sense that sharks have, helping them find, feeling a stingray or a fish. They can actually feel the heartbeat of an animal using those tiny little pores. That's why it's kind of like their superpower. They don't have to see the animal or smell it. They can feel its heartbeat and find their lunch. Sharks are found in every single ocean all around the world, right? In cold places, warm places, every ocean has sharks. And there are over 500 different species of sharks or different types, all right? And sadly, many of these are threatened with extinction because of pollution, because of overfishing, which means we're taking too many fish out of the ocean, plastic, or habitat loss. Animals need homes to live in, just like we do. And they have different habitats in the ocean. Seagrass beds, coral reefs. Or if you look in that top left, there's a little shark in the mangroves, which are bushes that have their roots right in the ocean. Where I live in the Bahamas, we have lots of mangroves. And it's sort of like a school for baby sharks. But instead of reading or writing, they're learning how to hunt and hide out. All of these habitats are really, really important, right? We want to protect them and we want to protect sharks. And when I say we want to protect sharks, you might not have thought about sharks or you might be afraid of sharks, but they keep our oceans balanced and healthy. So there's not too many of one fish or not enough of another. And they also eat injured, sick, dying animals, which keeps our ocean clean. This is really, really important. We all eat fish. We get different products that are made from things in the ocean. And it's really important, no matter where we live, to have healthy oceans. And if we don't have sharks, we won't have a lot of fish. We won't have healthy oceans. So that's why these animals are so important. And I'm so glad that all of you joined today to share this with your friends, your family, your students, because people are afraid of sharks. And shark bites are very, very rare, right? They're not monsters. They don't swim around looking for people. But we hear things on TV and the internet. There's movies, things like that. So there's a lot of misinformation about sharks. And actually, they're really important animals. All right, so thank you guys so much for joining. I don't know if you can type in, if you have some questions, let me see if you want to type in. If you have couple of questions. If people want to type them in, I can go ahead and spend some time answering a few questions.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, I want to know how long can shark live? How long can shark live?
Yeah, so some sharks will live about 5 to 10 years. Other sharks about 25 to 40. Great whites can live up to 80 years. And the Greenland shark, this is pretty amazing. The Greenland shark can live over 400 years.
Yeah, amazing, amazing.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Okay, the second question. How many kinds of sharks are there in the ocean? How many kinds of sharks are there?
About 514 different species, but they've already discovered new species this year, so that number is going up. Every year, scientists discover new species, which is amazing, but also another reason we want to really take care of our oceans. We have so much to learn.
Hi, can I ask
Okay,
you?
thank you. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question, please?
Anyone have a, yeah.
Yes, my name is Hương. I'm from Hanoi.
Sister, my student. Yeah, they want to ask you a question.
Oh, hang on, because somebody else is asking.
You say sharks are very friendly. Okay, my student ask you. My student ask. You say sharks are very friendly. Not like a monster.
They're not monsters, and bites are very, very rare. But we hear a lot of things on TV and the internet that maybe makes it seem like they're really scary. But I swim with sharks all the time, really big sharks. I've never been bitten, and I've never had one try and bite me.
Cổ nói là sao? Cổ nói là
And down below, what was your
not afraid, not afraid.
Can I ask you a question, please?
Yes.
Nhưng mà mình
Can I ask you a question, please?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Hương. I'm from Hanoi, Vietnam.
Yes.
Does your place have a shark museum?
Ooh, very cool.
Does your place have a shark museum?
I don't where I live, but there are some really amazing museums. I live on a really tiny island. I will send you a link and a video that you can all watch that shows where I live and where I do my work with sharks.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Wait, let's see if anyone typed any in.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Lucine and I'm from Russia.
Hi.
Hi.
And can you tell us, please, how long have you been working with sharks?
I have been working with sharks for almost 17 years. So I've traveled all over the world, worked in Australia, the United States, Indonesia, New Zealand, Fiji, and then in the Bahamas. So I've been really lucky. I've traveled all over to study sharks, worked on a lot of TV shows, and teaching students about sharks. So I travel. I was in Singapore last year teaching students about sharks and visiting schools. So I get to travel a lot because I love these animals. They're really, really important, and I